Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. I'm happy to be back with you. I'm excited about the word that God has given us for these few moments in time and for such a time as this. I want to ask you a question. I want you to think about the things that you have a desire to do. Those things that when you think about it, you know that if you could accomplish that, your life would be better. You know that if you could accomplish this, things would change and things would open up for you for the better. I want you to think about that. And then after that, I want you to think about what is those things, or what are those things that are keeping you from accomplishing that. What are those things? What are those things? What is it that makes you say, what if? I could start a business, but what if it doesn't work? What if I leave my job and the business makes no money? What if I'm thinking about this in such a way that in my mind it seems successful, but in actuality it may not work? What if? What if? What are the what ifs in your life? What are those things that are hindering you from doing what you believe or know that would make you successful? What are your what ifs? I want you to think about those things because we all deal with what ifs. There's no such thing as being so saved and so spiritual that you are and have so much faith that you never have to deal with what ifs. Anybody that's telling you that is pulling your leg. Everybody deals with what ifs. And yes, what ifs are fear. What ifs pop up. But suppose I give you a word today, which is where we are going. I kept waiting for God to give me a passage of scripture to fit it, but he didn't this time. He just gave me the word. So I hope that I haven't messed with anybody's theology for not bringing a scripture to the table, but I do have a word. And I want to expand your horizons because the word I'm about to give you is a word that most people use when they want to say what if. And that word is risk. R-I-S-K. I want to talk to you about risk for just a second. I want to talk to you and broaden your horizons about risk. I want to change your perceptions about risk. Life is full of risk, and it should be. But this is what I want you to take home today. I want you to understand that all of those what ifs that you have, they could happen. You're right. However, if you are willing to take the risk, your life probably could be better. Because one of the things that the enemy does, or the devil does, is put in our mind all of these what ifs to keep us from moving to those places that are actually wealthy and prosperous places for us. When I went home and looked up the word risk, I kept hearing that word over and over and over. Because I have some things that God has mandated that I do. And I keep assessing the risk. And until God started dealing with me about risk, it would seem more prudent to me to wait until I had a certain amount of resources in place, or wait until I had made certain connections. But God began to give me that word risk. So I looked it up. In the Chinese, the word risk means opportunities with dangers attached. Opportunities with dangers attached. And that's where we get our definition of risk. This is what we go by when we say risk. But let me broaden your horizons the way God has broadened mine. And I looked it up in the original Greek. And in the original Greek, the word risk means rock or hard earth. When I looked at that, I said, God, you have to educate me some more. I don't understand what you're trying to tell me. So I began to research the terminology, rock or hard earth. And what it explained to me was that the word risk is a term used by people who have to navigate through situations. Risks were not designed, and this is when the light bulb came on for me. Risks were not designed to hinder you. They're designed to educate you. Hold on to that. Because what navigators would do, whether they were navigating ships or what have you, they would go and they would assess where the hard places or the hard earth was under the water. They could see the water, but they couldn't see the hard places under the water. So they would use what instruments they had available at the time to assess where these hard places were. Understand something. They weren't trying to figure out how to navigate through storms. Storms don't always happen. Listen to what I just said. Storms don't always happen, but depending on the waters you have to tread, there is always a hard place. And you have to know where the hard places were. By understanding where the hard places were, they were able to navigate through the waters and get to their destination. This is what I want you to understand when we talk about taking a risk. Don't not do what you want to do or your dream because of the hard places. Learn how to navigate through them. We were created to understand how to adapt to environments and to hard places. If we are to accomplish anything in life, we're going to have to learn how to navigate, not retreat. We're going to have to learn how to keep moving, not go backwards. We cannot afford any longer to let fear rule and reign and stop us from the destinations that God has for us. Yes, there are hard places. Yes, there are risks involved. But risks should not frighten you. They should educate you. They should put you in a position where it makes you wonder, what do I have in me, and how do I navigate through all of what I have to navigate? It may mean you have to go back and navigate through the educational system because you don't feel like you have enough education, or you feel like your education isn't what it should be. Or you may have to navigate through those situations of not having the money. You may have to navigate through those times when you may have to wait a little while. But I promise you, my brothers and sisters, if you will go ahead and embrace the risk, you will be able to accomplish what you need to accomplish and have a better life. Be able to navigate, not retreat. God did not give us the spirit of fear, but he gave us power. He gave us love, and he gave us a sound mind. Go forth, embrace the risk, and take the world by storm. God bless you. We'll see you next week.